Hey guys, I figured since I'm putting out meat cutting videos that I would show you what kind of meat cutting gear I use. So we'll start with my 6-inch boning knife. This is a Forstner, and it is made by Victorinox, which is a Swiss brand. I've been using this knife since 2006. This is, I believe it's my second boning knife I've owned. And these things work fantastic. If you don't know, a boning knife, exactly what it sounds like, it separates meat from bone, and it's typically used for things like a pork shoulder roast, where you have a little shoulder blade you get in and kind of carve around it and everything, and it works really well for tying or deboning rib roasts and tying them back on. It's great for just deboning pretty much everything. New York strip from the bone. So anyway, that's what this knife is good for. I would highly recommend this. They're really not very expensive. I think I paid $25 to $30 for mine. And if you can't find these in your local area, you can find these on Amazon. I think they're only $20. I'll put a link in the description if you're interested. So that's where to pick those up at. This next one is also a Victorinox or Forstner. The Swiss really make great knives. I've used these for my whole 13-year meat cutting career, and they've worked very well for me. You just have to know how to sharpen them and maintain the edge. So I don't know exactly what the name of this particular knife is. I use it pretty much for cutting any kind of steak that you want to cut. I don't think it's a, I don't believe it's a breaking knife, but it could be. Anyway, it works for me. Don't know the names of all the knives, but yeah, this works really well. So you just really have to maintain the edge, like I said before. So this is pretty much almost razor sharp. I just got done shaving some arm hair off my arm. So what I wouldn't recommend though is this wooden handle. I would actually highly recommend this type of plastic handle here, because what happens is meat protein over time will get stuck in this, and it's really not, I clean my knives really well, but a lot of meat shops will find it unsanitary, and they don't want you to use these kind of knives when you're working with meat. So also right here in between the knife and the knife handle, it's over time it's kind of hard on your thumb, and it's really not that great of a grip on there, so I wouldn't recommend that. I would just recommend the plastic. And also I've got a Forstner steel here. This is a really fine steel. I use this, and then I also use a diamond steel at work, and these things really put a nice bring a nice edge back to your knife. And steels are not for sharpening. They're just for just bringing your edge back. Over time, when you start cutting meat, your edge kind of rounds. So what a steel does is it just brings that knife back to a point. Over time, you will need to sharpen it again. There's just so much steeling and cutting and steeling you can do before your knife just gets dull. So so keep that in mind if you're the average person who's not a meat cutter and who wants to own these kind of knives. Really invest in a steel. You're going to need a steel if you're a meat cutter anyway, but I've seen so many customers who come in my meat shop wanting to get their knife sharpened every few weeks or every couple months, and really what you're doing is you're really wearing down your blade. When you have us sharpen it, we put it on a grinder wheel, and that really takes a lot of material off. I would highly recommend a tri-stone, and unless your knife is like butter knife dull, you're really only going to need like the medium and fine on that. And I only ever really go to the fine stone when I need to put a better edge on my knife. So so yeah, that touches base on these. And scabbard, you can find these pretty inexpensively on Amazon. I think they're right around $20. And if you're looking for a chain, you could just pick that stuff up at Home Depot. It's like a matter of like 20-30 cents a foot, I think. So that's pretty inexpensive. And I don't believe I mentioned this knife is probably right around $50 to $60. I normally buy my knives over at Cash and Carry. They seem to be the cheapest for, like, you know, locally sourced knives. But a lot of people don't have those connections where they live, so I'll just post links in the description for all the equipment I use on Amazon. So, and I think this one only runs you like $20, so you're at what, about 60, 80, 100 and 120, $130 if you're an apprentice meat cutter getting into the job. So it's really not a lot of money to spend on that, and that's pretty much, those are reasonable prices for really high quality knives. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that was informative, and I will see you in the next video. See you later.